not going to run forever, you know. And James asked me,
real politicians, not you.
I am not I am not a politician, and I don't like, you know. I've been asked many times, well, hey, what office you want to run for after this? No, I want to run for state rep. I want to do it for a handful of sessions, and then I'm going to step away and let somebody else take that spot, because it's not meant for somebody to be here for 20 years or 40 years or to use as a stepping stone for the next thing or the next thing or the next thing. I'm not interested in that. I don't have ambitions to go do that. I don't want to be governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general. So I'm not going to go stab somebody in the back because I want a better seat at the table, right? I'm a fighter, okay? What I do for a living is I fight insurance companies when they don't do the right thing on claims. When they do the right thing, I tell them they do the right thing. And I testified in court that, nope, they did everything they're supposed to do, even when the other side hired me, because I'm going to be honest and truthful regardless. So every day I'm David versus Goliath. These insurance companies have billions of dollars. I'm not scared to go fight them. I fight for the people and I fight for what's right. So I am fiscally conservative. I am socially conservative. I don't think we should spend taxpayer dollars to do any sort of social or medical transitioning of kids, right? Period, end of report. I think we need to give a lot of pink slips in Austin because government is too big. The government should not be the number one employer in any state. The number one employer. These are simple, easy solutions that we shouldn't have any fight, even from Democrats, to clean the voter rolls the right way. What are they going to argue? I mean, yes, I know there's dead people that vote. I get it, but we're going to eliminate that from now on. You know what I mean? We can put serial numbers. There's serial numbers on every piece of money that you carry around in your pocket, right? Why not every ballot that's ever produced to have a serial number on it? At least we can then, you know, again, continue to track and focus on those things. Mail-in ballots, we need voter ID, which they passed, and then it got pushed back. Part of it got rejected by a federal judge.
Right.
Federal judge, you don't actually control the elections in the state of Texas, so you have no authority here, is what I would basically go tell that judge. Go pass it. What's that?
Was it appealed?
I believe Paxton did appeal it, but now that he's not running the show, who knows what's going on. Here's the thing that most of the people in this room probably don't know. They agree on what bills are going to pass, what amendments are going to be added to these bills, most of the time long before session even occurs. So, and who's going to add them? Is the Senate going to add them? Is the House going to add them? They have these secret meetings because they don't want the public to know how and what they're doing, wheeling and dealing behind the scenes. I'm there to do the will of the people and the voters, right? And what you guys send me there to do. Yes, it is. And I think that if you're homeschooling your kid, you're the one that's decided their curriculum because you're the one that best knows them and knows what they need and what you want them to learn. So, you know, I don't think the state should come inside your door and tell you what to do one way, shape, form, or fashion. It's a part-time job as a state rep. We don't need to go there and pass bills and then not pass the stuff that people want us to pass and have to call special session after special session, always David versus Goliath. I'm not afraid of these big lobbyists and everything else. I'm not scared of them. They can come talk to me. They can try and be friends with me, but I'm not going to be swayed. No, I'm an Eagle Scout, so I know what honor is and means. I'm a Cub Scout leader, so I teach that to people. So those are things, principles that I stand highly on. And so I can't be bought and paid for by anyone. So let me give you guys a little history for those that don't know. I ran the race 4 years ago when JC first got elected. It did not cover Katy back then, it covered Sugar Land. This was actually 28 back then, not 26. In redistricting, he drew out Sugar Land and added Katy. He outspent me 13-1, and I was 49 votes short of winning outright in a 3-person race, and I lost in the runoff by a few hundred votes. They called around, and I guess the consensus was I was the one person that if he could be taken out was the person that could do it. And so they started reaching out as well, and I was like, man, my phone is just not stop ringing about this.
So that leads into how would you contrast yourself and JC?
Well,
on the things you think you failed at and the things that you do different.
Yeah, so on the business card here. It has how I differentiate myself, which is no gender modification for children, socially or physically, which he voted he stood up on an amendment and spoke down about it. So to get $10 million. Real election integrity, so which I talked about the voter rolls and the deaths, people that died and all that stuff. You know, let's actually do something. We keep playing games on the border and act like we're actually doing something. We haven't actually done hardly. Hey, we put up 25 containers here. Great. Finish the wall. You know what I mean?
They're selling off.
Finish the buoys. You know, let's do the right. Let's finish it. And let's not say we're doing stuff. Now, look, I am working through things. I have looked through, like this one is property tax and appraisal reform, right? We all have to go vote for that in November, but you can lower my property taxes allegedly, but my appraisal goes up every year.
So
And
they're still
everyone
paying
points
more.
the finger at everyone else.
Yeah.
It's not my fault, it's their fault. It's not my fault, it's their fault, right? We just need to get rid of this game so that we, you know, when we elect politicians and they're raising our taxes, we know what they're raising our taxes for. Okay.
Oh,
So,
no, when
I would say no Democrat chairs would be a very
yeah,
high.
so you wouldn't, yeah,
So,
which would be smart.
which means I have to vote against the current speaker when he runs for re-election as the speaker, which means he's going to banish me to the back end and
worst
everything,
committee.
which is fine. You know, I don't
The
care.
toilet.
I'm not intimidated.
Do you think that's kind of the root of all evil in the house? I mean, the power that Phelan has.
Yes, yes. And so, how do you fix that though? Because there's ways to fix it. If you have enough true conservatives in your rules that you set for the House, you can tweak those enough to pull power away from him so that he has to now get a vote of the body to do certain things versus him just appointing and doing. Does that make sense? So what do I have to do to get that legislation done, right? Because there's things that we need to get done to fix stuff. I'm just going to go to a different rep and say, look, here's this bill that I put together. Can you be the author on it, right? I'm just going to work around him. I already have friends from, you know, again, I ran this 4 years ago. A lot of people thought I was going to win the runoff. The lobbyists thought I was going to win the runoff, even though they were spending, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars on JC, you know, including our governor. They thought I was going to win the runoff.
Real quick, you mentioned earlier your anti-mask and all that about vaccines, medical freedom.
So,
where can you
so Texans for Vaccine Reform endorsed me during the runoff last time, and I actually have a meeting with them in a few days. So anyway, it's you should be able to do what you want to do for your life, your liberty, your pursuit of happiness, right? So if you don't want to take the shot, then that's on you, right? I don't think that should be.